Okay, so it's been a while, but right everyone, it is Finn here, and finally, I know it has been a very long time, but welcome back to another Premier League prediction video, where today I'm going to be telling you everything you need to know about Premier League Matchweek 22. We're going to be looking at the games you can look out for, I'm going to be giving you my score prediction, and I'm going to be telling you which players you can look out for in the upcoming Premier League Matchweek. Of course, guys, I know, as I said, I'm sorry I haven't done this series for a while on my channel. I think the last Matchweek I did was Premier League Match Week 16, so 5-6 match weeks I have missed. As I said, I am so incredibly sorry, but obviously I was away for December and majority of these games were in December, and I don't feel like prediction games you can really record too far in advance, otherwise they're not realistic or accurate. And of course I have been prioritizing Afcon, Africa Cup of Nations content, which you guys seem to be loving at the moment, but you know what, as Premier League content is kind of what I raised my channel on. It is the baby that has made my channel. Of course I had to come back to it eventually, and what better way than to come back on Premier League Match Week 22, because we've got some brilliant games to look out for. I mean, we're going to come back to the likes of Chelsea versus Manchester City. We're coming back to essentially the Champions League final. We've also got Arsenal versus Tottenham Hotspurs, Manchester United versus Steven Gerrard and Philippe Coutinho, but it's not Liverpool. Manchester United versus Aston Villa. It's going to be an incredible game, and of course we've got a bunch of other exciting games that we'll be talking about in today's video. Every game for Premier League Match Week 22 we will be discussing today. Now, of course, if you are new to my channel and you do like regular consistent content, I have been uploading 4 to 5 times a week. Don't know how long I'll be that consistent for, but I am trying my best out here. If you do like football content in general, no matter what it is, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. The channel's been growing really fast as of late, and I do appreciate every single one of you, no matter how long you've been subscribed to me before. But without further ado, let's jump straight into the Premier League predictions, as we have 15 games to talk about, because some teams will be playing twice this match week. It just be like that sometimes, and of course it is incredibly hot in my room and I want to get out of here as fast as possible. But jumping into game number 1, we've got Brighton versus Crystal Palace. Now, of course, looking at both of these two teams, they both have potential to steal points from absolutely anyone. I mean, Brighton have drawn 9 games this season and Crystal Palace have drawn 8 games this season. I mean, with all that drawing, it might as well just be an art competition at this rate. Sorry, I know, yes, the lame dad jokes are back, but you know, you signed up for the package. It is what you get. But of course, looking at Brighton, they will be missing Basuma because of African Cup of Nations, where if you look at Crystal Palace, they are missing the likes of Ayew and Wilfried Zaha up front. So I do feel like, why did I say Zaha like that? They will be missing Wilfried. Why can I not speak in today's video? I'm sorry. They will be missing Wilfried Zaha up front. So I do feel like Crystal Palace will be affected a bit more than Brighton. But saying that, as I said, both of these teams have been drawing a lot this season. I think that they are both on a very level playing field at the moment. Obviously, Brighton are in slightly better form at the moment and they've gotten big results. Obviously, they beat Everton 3-2 and they ended up drawing 1-1 with Chelsea, as you guys can see on screen. Yeah, so you know what, Brighton almost look more of a finished product than Crystal Palace at the moment. But saying that, we cannot forget that Crystal Palace still have brilliant stars within their team. They've still got the likes of Conor Gallagher, and although they're missing some star attackers, they've got the likes of Elise, who's looking like a brilliant youngster at the moment. As I said, I'm finding it very hard to differentiate between these two teams, so I am going to go with a 2-2 draw. I know I don't normally go for draws on this channel, I find it boring, but I really can't separate them. And in terms of a player to watch, it is going to be the likes of Neil Maupay. Obviously, in the previous fixture between these two teams, Neil Maupay ended up getting a 90th whatever minute equalizer. I don't know, he just seems to be scoring a decent amount of goals this season. He has won Brighton some valuable points, and I think he'll do so again versus Crystal Palace. As I said, I think it's going to be even. Moving on, of course, we've got the big dog, Manchester City versus Chelsea. As I said, it's essentially the Champions League final over again. Now, it's so funny looking at these two teams because Manchester City, I think, are 11 wins in a row in the Premier League, looking undefeatable. Looking at Chelsea, they've only won 1 in their last 5. But saying that, whenever these two teams seem to go against each other, Chelsea seems to win majority of the games. But obviously, due to Afcon, Chelsea are missing Edouard Mendy between the posts. I mean, considering the fact that their backup goalkeeper is the most expensive goalkeeper of all time, they're not too bad off. But obviously that stability at the back, it's less assured at the moment. Looking at Manchester City, although they've lost Mahrez to Afcon, they've still got a brilliant squad. Obviously, I mean, they, especially in their winger positions, they could lose anyone. And they've still got one of the best wingers in the world as a backup option. Looking at Man City versus Chelsea, as I said, I think it's going to be so incredibly close no matter what the form is between these two teams. They always give it their absolute all. I am very, very tempted to give Manchester City the win here. As I said, they just seem to be in better form. I'm tempted to almost go for another draw, but I might go with a shock Chelsea win. I'm not going to lie, guys. I did record this video a tiny bit earlier, but I forgot to press save on the audio file. I know, very professional, been doing this for 3 years and I still make mistakes like that. And in that prediction, I gave Manchester City a win. But now that I'm looking at it, I'm very tempted to give Chelsea a win. I don't know what it is. It's just something about Manchester City. Although Chelsea obviously have lost some really weird points, I don't know. I just feel like this is going to be a turning point for these two teams. Obviously, two star-studded squads, and it's going to be very, very even. I want you guys to tell me in the comment section down below for this game specifically, what is your score prediction? Yeah. So put that in the comment section down below. This is the game I want you guys to comment on. Obviously, going down, we've got Burnley versus Leicester. Now, I feel so sorry for Burnley. They're essentially relegated at this point. I mean, they were already struggling, and I think the only teams battling to get in and out of relegation at the moment is between Burnley and Newcastle United. And Newcastle United have essentially just said, stuff you, we're going to buy your best striker. Now, at the moment, Burnley are without Maxwell Cornet, who's at Afcon. They've just lost their likes of Chris Wood, their best striker, to the only team that's kind of fighting to get out of the relegation battle with them. I think the likes of Vidra, Rodriguez, and Barnes are all injured. Burnley don't have a striker at the moment. Well, it's saying that looking at Leicester City, they've obviously lost Ndidi and Iheanacho to Afcon, but they have the likes of Vardy, Suyuncu, Evans also injured. I mean, with all the injuries between these two teams, the game should actually just be played in a hospital bedroom, in my opinion. But looking at these two teams, as I said, Burnley have been the less impressive team this season, although neither have really impressed me. Only one win so far this season. Leicester City, I don't know whether you're going to disappoint me here.
That's what she said.
Yeah, but I am going to go for a Leicester City 1-0 win, as I said, although they are missing some top names up front. They've still got Patson Daka, they've still got the likes of Barnes, they've still got Tillemans in the midfield, Maddison, who's been in fire form. They've still got a really, really good squad. And in terms of my player to watch, I am going to go for James Maddison. In terms of his goal contribution, in terms of scoring goals, he's really picked up this season in terms of all competitions, and I think he could be a difference maker versus a very, very weak Burnley team at the moment. And of course, guys, speak of the devil, and he shall appear. It is Newcastle United. As I said, what a dick move to buy, like, essentially Burnley's best striker, who scored, let's be honest, he scored more than 10 goals per Premier League season, pretty much every single season that he's been at Burnley bar this season so far. I mean, yes, not the best striker in the world, but he made an impact for Burnley. So Newcastle United, although Callum Wilson is injured, now you've got a 10-goal a season Premier League striker. You've still got St. Maximin in your squad. Newcastle United, once again, big power move. I mean, I guess I kind of do respect it. The game is the game. But wow, it seriously takes balls to do that. But Newcastle United versus Watford, I don't know. Looking at Watford, I really like them. I think it's a huge bonus that they got to keep Emmanuel Dennis through Afcon. Obviously, they lost Tristy Kong in the centre-back position. I think Watford have got a really, really good squad, and I think they could surprise anyone on their day. But Newcastle United, at the moment, after that performance, that draw versus Manchester United, I mean, I just think Newcastle United could still surprise most teams. Obviously, they've got Kieran Trippier in that squad who, yes, didn't help with that loss versus Cambridge in the FA Cup or whatever competition it was. But yeah, I think Newcastle United at the moment have the better team and they should get the win. Although saying that, it's so weird to see that Watford have 3 more wins this season than Newcastle United. But I think this is where things almost change for Newcastle. You know what? I'm actually going to put forward a 2-0 win. I think St. Maximin could end up scoring a goal. And I think Wood score a goal on his debut. It's very, very possible. Moving on, we've got Norwich versus Everton. Now, of course, I wouldn't normally have faith in Everton, especially Rafa Benitez. He has been awful. They've just lost 3-2 to Brighton. But ladies and gentlemen, it has been confirmed Dominic Calvert-Lewin could be back for this game. Richarlison's back in training. Yerry Mina's back in training. Everton could have a fully fit squad. And if that is the case, which I think it will be, I think Everton could absolutely run the show versus Norwich. Look, I like Dean Smith. He's one of my favorite managers. I think he's a great person. He started off so well at Norwich, but they've gotten a lot of losses as of late. So unfortunately, just looking at Norwich, I think they will get relegated this season. But versus Everton, I think Everton will end up getting a win. Yes, they haven't been convincing under Rafa Benitez, but they definitely shouldn't lose versus Norwich. Now moving on, we've got Wolves versus Southampton. Now it's quite funny looking at these two teams. The Wolves themselves haven't had much of a bite to their attacking ability. I mean, they've really struggled to score as of late. Now, obviously, they've lost the likes of Saiz to Morocco at Afcon 2021. That is a major loss for them in defense. Obviously, looking at Southampton, although although Wolves are struggling to score, Southampton are struggling to keep clean sheets. So between these two teams, I feel like there's a high possibility that it could end up being a draw. But something about me is going to put a 1-0 win. And the reason I'm saying that is because Jose Sa has been playing out of his goalie gloves so far this season. The high save rate out of any goalkeeper in the Premier League versus Manchester United. I thought he had some brilliant moments. I just think Jose Sa is a really good goalkeeper. And I feel like a clean sheet will at least be kept versus Southampton. Saying that, Southampton recently beat Brentford 4-1. So you never know what's going to happen. Football is it's a pretty wacky thing if you haven't realized at this point. As I said, could go either way. I'm going to give Wolves the win. And in terms of a player to watch, although you never normally mention the goalkeeper, I'm going to mention Jose Sa. I think you're going to see some incredible saves from him in this game. Let's hope that comment doesn't come back to bite me. Now, of course, next up, we've got Aston Villa versus Manchester United. My team, Man United, obviously beat Aston Villa in a cup competition about a few days ago. Wasn't a very convincing win, got a lot of criticism, definitely was not the best team. And I mean, if you told a football fan 3 years ago that Steven Gerrard would be managing a team, his first signing would be Philippe Coutinho in that team, and they would be facing Manchester United, I think football fans would just have like a nostalgic brain explosion. Genuinely, what a time to be alive as a football fan. Obviously, Steven Gerrard did a very decent job versus United, and I have to lie. I can't lie, should I rather say. I'm slightly scared of Aston Villa. I normally am when we face them. I mean, it's never an easy game. And obviously, looking at Manchester United, recently lost to Wolverhampton Wanderers. It was not a good game. But saying that, we were unbeaten in the Premier League before that under Ralf Rangnick. I've still got quite a bit of faith in Ralf Rangnick, at least in the meantime. And looking at Aston Villa, they've dropped points here, they've won points there. They're looking like a very strong team, and I think it will be incredibly close, especially because Aston Villa have also started the likes of Lucas Digne in the left back position. In my opinion, out of the top 6 teams, if you look outside of that, the best left back in the Premier League. Like, that man is absolutely insane. So Aston Villa have a seriously strong squad at the moment, bar the fact that they've lost a player here and there to Afcon or to injury. I still think that they've got a strong enough squad. But saying that, Manchester United, as I said, they've been in decent form, although they haven't been too convincing under Ralf Rangnick. I do think that they could get a win. I don't think it'll be a pretty game to watch, but I am going to put forward a 2-1 win. And although I'm putting him on the losing side, I do think Philippe Coutinho will be the man to watch. I mean, as Steven Gerrard himself said, you don't just earn a name like Magician, or you don't get a nickname like Magician for nothing. He's obviously a wizard on the ball. He's incredible on the ball. And if Aston Villa get any points versus Manchester United, I can almost guarantee you that Coutinho would have something to do with it. Let's hope. Okay, well, let's not hope. I'm a Manchester United fan. Why would I say that? But looking next, we've got Liverpool versus Brentford. And I might get a lot of criticism here, but I don't like Liverpool's chances. Obviously, this isn't a Manchester United bias thing. Looking at Liverpool, they've lost Keita, Mane and Salah to African Cup of Nations. That alone could really, really be a problem for them. But they also lost the likes of Firmino to injury, Origi to injury, 2 top attackers, Trent Alexander-Arnold. They're still missing the likes of Alisson. Liverpool is not looking good at the moment, and I think they might genuinely struggle versus, well, almost a very strong Brentford team. Saying that, they haven't been in as good form as when they started this Premier League season. But you know what? I'm not going to lie. I think Liverpool have got a serious chance of losing versus Brentford. I mean, when both teams had their fully fit players, it was a 3-3 draw. Saying that though, Brentford's kind of out of their honeymoon phase at the moment. I mean, I'm really struggling to predict this one. I think it could be so insanely close. Once again, guys, for your predictions, if you want to leave them, put them in the comment section down below. I'm tempted to give Brentford a win, and you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to do exactly that. I think it is going to be a shock result. In terms of who the player to watch will be, I've got no idea. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'm not going to make that prediction. Obviously, next up, we've got West Ham United versus Leeds. West Ham United obviously started the season off well, had a few dodgy games, are kind of back in good form. I've got a lot of faith in West Ham United. I think they could still fight for a European spot. Looking at Leeds United, once again, it is the transfer window. We need to see more defensive transfers from them because they've not been great in that position as of late. Obviously, versus Burnley, they got quite a nice 3-1 win. But versus West Ham United, I don't think they're going to have the same amount of area to play with the ball. I think the pressing that West Ham United apply will close down Leeds United. Obviously, as I said, Leeds' defense is not good so far this season, and I think West Ham will get a relatively comfortable 3-1 win. They've been in better form. They are the better team. And in terms of a player to watch, it is very, very tricky to be honest. But I'm going to go for Jared Bowen, who at this rate, just give him his England international call-up for the World Cup already. 5 goals and 7 assists in the Premier League. He is a man on fire. He could get double digits in both aspects in goals and assists. He is on fire form at the moment. Scored 2 goals versus Norwich. As I said, just looking good at the moment. Next up, we've got Tottenham versus Arsenal. Now, of course, we don't have the greatest Argentinian player of all time in this game. Obviously, I'm not talking about Maradona or Messi. Who are those guys? Obviously, the likes of Lamela won't be in this fixture. We won't see a Rabona nutmeg goal, which how insane was that, by the way? But of course, looking at Tottenham Hotspurs, last time they faced Arsenal, they were embarrassed. They got an embarrassing, what was it? A 3-1 loss or something like that. But this time, I think almost the tables have turned. I think both of these teams look very strong at the moment. This is a very important game for both teams because both of them are kind of pushing to fight for that top 4 spot, and I think this will be a big difference maker. Looking at Arsenal, absolutely everything went wrong for them versus Manchester City. Obviously, there was that goal line clearance, there was a red card. Obviously, they went from winning to losing. Everything just went sour for Arsenal. Looking at Tottenham, yes, they are missing Heung-min Son, but Harry Kane seems to be scoring for fun again, and that is massive. When Harry Kane is on form, he is the world's deadliest striker, and we know that at this point. So because looking at these two teams and the fact that Arsenal are missing some big players, I am going to give Spurs a 2-1 win, and my player to watch will be Harry Kane. Once again, Arsenal, nothing bad against you guys. I think you've really picked up on form this season, but you've lost the likes of Aubameyang, Elneny, and Thomas Partey to the African Cup of Nations. Those are some big losses, and on top of that, you've got a few injuries, and your only midfield options are Lokonga and Granit Xhaka. It is not looking great. You guys might struggle. Obviously, Gabriel got a red card in his previous game, will probably miss this game, I'm assuming. So you know what, Arsenal, unfortunately, your team has been weakened, and I like Spurs' chances better. Moving on to the next game, we've got Burnley versus Watford. Now, of course, this is where we kind of get into the other games, the other set of matches, the other 5 games. As I mentioned before, not impressed with Burnley at the moment. They've got essentially no attackers. And looking at Watford, going up front, I feel like Emmanuel Dennis has showed so much attacking promise. Of course, I think Watford have got a brilliant squad, especially with Ben Foster back from injury. Obviously, they've got a brand new left back with the likes of that really good Ivory Coast left back. His name's just skipped my mind at the moment, but he's obviously a very good player. I think it's Kamara. I just like Watford's chances better than Burnley. I won't spend too much time on these reverse fixtures or these other games because I've already spoken about each team quite a lot. But I do think Watford will get a win versus Burnley. Attacking wise, they just seem really good, and I can see them seizing the opportunity versus Burnley because Burnley's defense has not been operating like it should be lately. I mean, Tarkowski basically has the attitude at the moment like he wants to leave for Newcastle already. That is a man who just doesn't seem to care. I can imagine Watford winning, and my player to watch will be Emmanuel Dennis. Next up, we've got Brighton versus Chelsea. Now, Brighton always seem to be attacking minded versus Chelsea. They always just seem to hit another level, so I do think they'll score, but I will give Chelsea 3 goals. I think Chelsea should win this one. Obviously, it will be after that Manchester City game, but at the end of the day, Chelsea, far better team. You expect them to get a result. I think Mendy's their only big loss to Afcon, and my player to watch will be Romelu Lukaku. Lukaku. Yes, I know there's a lot of controversy around him at the moment. Obviously, he was kind of flirting with the idea of Inter Milan again, which Lukaku, you can't do that. That's like looking at your current girlfriend and talking about how beautiful your ex-girlfriend's eyes were. You just can't do that. But saying that, I think Lukaku's got a lot to prove. He obviously scored in the FA Cup or Carabao Cup game that was played during the week. Obviously, as I said, Lukaku has a lot to prove, and I think he'll do that versus Brighton. We've got Leicester versus Tottenham. As I said, Leicester, bad form at the moment, missing a lot of key players. Tottenham looking relatively good at the moment, unbeaten in the Premier League under Antonio Conte. I can imagine them getting quite a comfortable win, to be honest with you. And of course, to end off Premier League match week 22, as I said, I didn't want to spend too much time on the other half of these games because it's tricky to predict without seeing all of, as I said, some teams are playing 2 games. It's just how it works. But ending it off, Brentford versus Manchester United. Now, funnily enough, if you look at the history, these 2 teams I don't think have played against each other in the Premier League, which I don't know why, I just thought they had. But of course, Manchester United, the form that they have been in, yes, they haven't been playing good football, but it just seems a lot better than Brentford at the moment. I can't imagine United losing to Brentford. Well, I say that I'm a United fan. I've seen us lose to absolutely anyone over the last few years, but I do think United should take this one. They are the better team. They're not missing any major players due to Afcon or anything like that. Obviously, Eric Bailly, I would love to have him in the squad, but I'm semi-confident in United's defense at the moment. I mean, Harry Maguire is injured, which might be a blessing in disguise. Eric Bailly has obviously left, so the 3 centre-back options United are left with is Varane. We've obviously got Phil Jones and Victor Lindelof, and I'm quite happy with those 3 options. I'm not gonna lie, when Phil Jones made his return the other week, was it against Wolves or someone like that? That might be, or Newcastle, whoever it was against, that might be Phil Jones's best performance in a United shirt in a long time, and I'll say this hands down, it is better than any performance Harry Maguire has ever had for Manchester United. I'm very much Phil Jones in and Harry Maguire out at the moment. I don't know what you guys think about the whole situation, but yeah, you know what, without Harry Maguire in the starting 11, I've almost got more faith in United's defensive ability. As I said, United have the better team, they should get the result, although Brentford have proven they can be giant slayers from time to time, and my player to watch is going to be Edinson Cavani, because in my opinion, there is no player that fights harder for the ball than Edinson Cavani. That man full out sprints the entire match, and he wins balls in terms of tackling, in terms of attacking opportunities. Obviously, one of the best strikers of all time, will be my player to watch. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Obviously, this is my Premier League Match Week 22 predictions. Kind of a different style than what I normally do it. Obviously, this is a style I've been doing it for Afcon. People seem to be enjoying it, so I thought I'd try see if it works in terms of Premier League content. Guys, as I said, I am officially back doing Premier League content. I'll be doing more Premier League content from now on and try to mix it with Afcon content, because obviously Afcon won't last forever. Guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button and obviously hit like if you did end up enjoying it. I'm sure you guys have seen other YouTube videos before. You know how it works. I've got faith in your ability. But guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been Finn, FYNN. Until next time, cheers.